All right. We'll try this.
Okay. So you want me to start from the beginning again?
Just wait. Let's see what you look like.
There we go.
Okay, try it again.
All right. Hey, everyone. It's Lisa from Primitive Gatherings. And we are going to hopefully not have any problems now. But we are day 11 of our 12 days of Christmas. Hopefully everything is working good now. And we will try to figure it out. But whatever. But we have some great news. So those of you who are awesome subscribers of our wool box, which is ain't our wool box, it's our holiday box. If you've ordered the holiday box, we decided to ship it UPS instead of USPS. So that gives us a little bit more time to make sure you get it for the holidays. Yes, it costs a lot more money on our end to get it to you that way, but you're worth it, and we're going to do it to make sure. I can't guarantee that they're going to get there before Christmas, but it has a way better chance with UPS than USPS. So that's great news, and you will, I think they're starting to ship out today. They're going to try to get a boatload of them out today, and then the rest probably tomorrow. So look for your holiday box UPS. So that's a different bird. So they'll be dropping them by your door instead of the post office bringing them. Okay, so day 11 is about Garden Gatherings. And Garden Gatherings is a fabric line that we have coming up next year. But it's not just about the fabric line. We have a quilt along as well. And I'll be introducing one of my friends that's going to help with that. But let's talk a little bit about Garden Gatherings. So Garden Gatherings is this beautiful line of fabrics in the rainbow here with some tans, and then as a bonus we get another stack of 20 fabrics with, it's called shirtings because these are all the little prints in all the colors. So very rarely will you see shirtings in this rainbow range of colors. So that is what we are featuring today, and we are going to feature all of the fabrics, all of the quilts, all of the pre-cuts. Everything is 20% off. So we have a live link already on the blog. Do we post the blog yet?
Okay, do it right now.
Okay, do it right now. All right, so Heidi is publishing the blog post right now. So you're going to go on there and you're going to leave us a comment to win some prizes. I believe I said jelly roll, charm pack, layer cake, and honey bun. That's what we're giving away on the YouTube channel and on the blog today. Whew. Wow, that was a rough start. So I need to take a breath here for a minute. But all of the quilt projects in Garden Gatherings are also on the website, the blog and website. Can you show them through? You want me to just talk about which ones and you can pop each one up?
Are you sharing the book? Or
Yeah,
just
we're gonna talk about the book first,
Okay.
with all the quilts in it.
So you just start talking about one, I'll pop it.
Okay, so Garden Gatherings is a book of 8 quilts, and Kaylee's gonna pop the cover of the book up for you. I don't have a picture of the cover of the book. It's okay. Oh, here it is. All right. So here's our little mock-up of the Garden Gatherings book, and look at. There's directions and pictures, but no diagrams yet. We're working on it. So that is our book that we have on 20% off as a pre-order as well. These are all pre-orders, not coming until, what did I say? April, May. That's when it's coming. And then we are going to start our quilt along in June or July, just to make sure we have a little buffer room space in case we're not caught up with shipping yet. But fingers crossed, we're going to be ready to go by then. Okay, so in Garden Gatherings, we have 8 quilts. Remember When is a 90 by 90 quilt using just the neutrals, the shirtings. So it's a really low volume quilt made with this set of fabrics. And then we have Wild Prairie, which is a 70 by 82 inch quilt, and it features half square triangles and quarter square triangles. So simple, uses a ton of the fabrics in the line, both sets, the shirtings and the Garden Gatherings alone. And then the next quilt we have, it's called Change of Course, and that is 2 blocks, shoe fly and half square triangle blocks, and that is a recreated antique quilt, that one there, so I can't wait to show you the antique that we used for that one. And then Reap What You Sow, 94 by 112, big, easy, clunky quilt, huge for a queen and king size bed, big half square triangle, so those aren't tiny, those are pretty big, so that's no problem using the triangle paper. And then we have the tea quilt. That's going to be fun to make with both sets of fabrics. That one is 74 by 90, so that one can be a twin or a lap quilt. Then we have Party of 4, which is all flying geese, and then it has a really fun layout of how it's put together, so you match up pinwheels. And that one is another lap or twin size, 72 by 80. Then we have Flower Box, which is 90 by 90, and that's like kind of like deep blue when we made with the blue and white line, but we rainbowed that one as well. So that one is 90 by 90. We probably could make that one little too, 45 by 45, if we just used a honey bun or the 1-inch strips instead of 2-inch strips. And then last one is Seedlings. Now, my friend Miss Vicky pieced seedlings, and I have to admit, I used all the strike-offs, meaning all the ones that didn't make the quilt line too, the fabric line. So there's some in there that have never been made. So we'll have to remake it with the real fabrics, but it's just so fun to use those prints that never really get made into fabrics. And she did a great job of making that one for us as well. So Seedlings is kind of a elongated tumbler quilt, not just the traditional one. It's a little bit skewed, but those are the 8 quilts that are in the book. So remember, this is a pre-order, so if you order the book, the quilt kits, and the backings, those are all pre-order, and that can be the only thing in your cart in that order. So when everything's ready, we just get it together and get it out for you. So that is what I have for you, but the most exciting thing that's going to happen for Garden Gatherings is the quilt along. Now, my dear friend Val from Vegas, this is her design. She came up with it, and it is going to be called Meet Me in the Garden. So let's say hi to Val.
Hey, Val.
Hi, everybody.
All right, Val, thanks for joining us today. I really want them to hear from you about this awesome quilt that you designed for our quilt along. I can't thank you enough for doing this because I just love the quilt. It is so awesome.
Thanks. When I was there in September, I saw the fabrics for this line, and I came home thinking, oh my gosh, that's the fabric line I want to do the medallion quilt. So I sat down and figured it all out, and that's what we have started behind me here.
Yeah, now it uses, so if you want to join our quilt along, like I said, it is going to start in June, July. If we will start it earlier if the fabric comes earlier. Trust me, we'll get this going as fast as possible. And it is a block of the month, so or
A row.
a monthly round. It's kind of medallion, right? Is that what that's called, medallion?
Yeah, and this is just the first 2 segments. Above me, you can see the rest of the other blocks that we're going to be doing. We're going to do it a little bit different. We're going to start with the outside of the quilt first because that has the most pieces. And that way, if you're like me, when you get to the end of doing something, we'll be doing the easiest, smallest part last.
Yeah, that's genius.
Harder,
That's genius.
It's not really hard, but the most sewing amount is done in the beginning.
Yeah, so that outer border, you start with that one, and then that's like the most, I don't want to say tedious, that's not a good word, but the one with the most meat to it first.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then as the months progress, it gets easier and easier or less and less.
Yeah, and we used all of the darks and all of the shirtings for this. So It's a really scrappy quilt. I like that. The more fabrics you have in there, the scrappier it looks. And I did do this very scrappy, so even the stars that you're looking at there, they're not matchy. I guess you could do it a little bit more matchy, but it might take a little bit more planning. But doing
Okay.
it.
So we do have a button on the website or on the blog post that will bring you right to what you need for the stitch along or quilt along. So it's a fat quarter tower of the darks, a fat quarter tower of the shirtings, and then a layer cake because we need more light shirtings, right?
Yeah, we needed a little bit extra. And you can always add in other fabrics if you want, or if you need. It depends. You know, we all make a little mistake here or there when we're cutting something out. We might cut the wrong side, or that way you can just add in. It's so scrappy, it's not going to make a difference. When you see a picture of the whole quilt, it looks really complicated, but I think someone that is even new to quilting can do this quilt because it's a trim as you go. We're going to be trimming each component so that it's really accurate.
Right, so it's going to go together in a snap because all those blocks are going to be trimmed to the exact size. Yeah, so whether you're a beginner or an advanced quilter, this is going to be fun for the advanced quilter, and it's not going to be that big of a challenge for the beginner quilter.
No, because it's very easy to. I don't like to teach anything hard.
And you've been teaching for a long time. Tell us a little bit, Val. Tell them like where you teach and a little bit about yourself, so they kind of know.
I teach mainly at the Christmas Goose in Las Vegas, which is a quilt shop that I found about a year or two after we moved out here to Las Vegas. I've actually been teaching quilting for about 20 years. Well, no, it's been longer than that. About 20.
Yeah, those years go by fast, don't they?
Yeah, I was like, when did I move here? Yeah, it's probably been about 22 years. I've been quilting for almost 30 years. I started designing patterns back in 2007, I think, 7 or 8, when my mom and dad had a quilt shop in Michigan. And most of the patterns I design always use fat quarters because that's something we have as quilters. So the book I did with Lisa a couple of years ago all used fat quarters. This is a fat quarter quilt. But
That book that she's talking about is Fun, Friends, and Fat Quarters. That was Val's book as well. Yep.
So I do teach a beginning level class at the Christmas Goose. I probably teach 4 or 5 of those a year. And then once people have gone through that, they have enough knowledge that they can take classes from other people. But I've been quilting for a long time, and I love the teaching part. And I actually taught a quilt using doing a similar design as this medallion a couple of years ago, and that was when Lisa and I started talking about maybe doing a medallion quilt together.
Yeah, I think this is going to be super fun, and even if we will have another, we'll be selling the pattern and some of the rulers, the trim rulers, as it gets closer to the stitch along, but we want to make sure that we have enough fabric for everybody to do this, and right now is the time that we need to order fabric through Moda to make sure we can have everybody have enough fabric for it. So that's why we're trying to put the things on our 12 days that are pre-order and that we need to order right away first. So we're not trying to bombard you with all these pre-orders, but that's why, is because we need to let Moda know how many of these bundles that we need to order as soon as possible, or we want to make sure that we grab all of them that we can in order for you guys to do it. But I do want to let you know that if you have any other, there's nothing wrong with putting some of your fabrics in this quilt as well, and making it unique with adding some of your fabrics.
Absolutely. And I also will be offering an alternate setting as we get going. If maybe you have enough bed-size quilts and you don't want to make one that big, I'm also going to be doing it in a row quilt version, so you'll be doing smaller amounts.
Yeah, so if somebody didn't want to make the 104 by 104, they could easily make a couple smaller quilts, the row quilts, right?
I think the row quilt ends up being about twin size, like 65
Right.
to 80, somewhere in there. It has just less blocks.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome, awesome. So you forgot to tell our audience, because this is very important, but who's your daughter?
My daughter is Katie Nolan, who did a cross stitch design with Lisa for your American Gatherings so long.
Yeah,
And-
so for our American quilter stitch along, Katie was the one that did all the cross stitch flags in cross stitch. Did I show them my framed piece yet?
Your cute little pendant is stitched by Katie.
Yes, this
isn't it? Yeah.
Katie made this. Yes. Do you know where it
and
is, Jess? It's
actually,
downstairs.
This will be my first collaboration with Katie, because she's going to be doing a cross stitch design that looks just like the medallion quilt. So we're really excited to do that. Hopefully we're going to be able to do that as a stitch along as well. But as that gets closer, we'll have more information on that. But it's really going to be it'll be a really nice design to have. A little bit bigger.
Right. And Katie's information is Count Your Stitches Designs, right? Count Your Stitches Designs. Yep. And she has, make sure you go visit her. She has lots and lots of cute cross stitch from more than she did when she did the quilter stitch along for us. She's humming right along. Very fun, easy stuff that she does. I really love them. And she's, like I said, she's a military wife, so we gotta help that out too. So I heard she's moving.
They will be moving. Yeah, they'll be moving in the summertime. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I know that's part of the military life is moving.
It is.
But here, let's just give Katie a shout out. So this is her design. Kathy Decker actually stitched this one, but
Awesome.
and we framed it with the cording here. That's Kathy's idea to do that, and then Scotty made this beautiful frame. But not to get off topic, but we have to talk about Katie as well, because she's a big part of us raising a lot of money for Hogs for Heroes, and we really appreciate Katie's helping us raise a lot more money with her cross stitch. So thank you, Katie, if you're watching, and thanks, Val, for I know that she didn't those daughters don't actually want to quilt 24/7 all the time. As soon as they're able, sometimes it takes them a little while to get their feet under them, and then they always want to do something different than mom, just a little bit. So
She's still making quilts. I actually saw them at Thanksgiving and came home with one to quilt for her. But with the two kids, I think having that handwork, I think that's been really good for her to keep continuing being creative when she doesn't maybe get as much time to sit behind the sewing machine.
awesome. All right. So did we cover everything about the quilt? Does anybody have any questions?
We'll have videos, right? Did we mention
Oh
that?
yeah.
Videos of each segment, so it won't be so overwhelming. You're not making that whole quilt at one time. We'll break it down into round by round.
Yeah, so if you love that step-by-step instruction of making blocks, you're going to get that again with this quilt along as well.
Finish size.
104 by 104.
And then we do have on the website the grouping for the stitch along, so you don't have to pick the
Right.
three.
So what Jessica is saying is you don't have to go in and put a fat quarter tower of that in your cart and a fat quarter tower of that. It already is a grouping where you just put the whole grouping for the Meet Me in the Garden quilt along. That's all in one thing. And then I guess if you want to go in there and order your backing already, we're going to give you 25% off the backing as a little extra sweeten in the pot. We usually give 20%, but for the 12 days, we're going to up that to 25. And it's a lot of backing. It's 10 yards of backing. So I'm going to give you a little heads up. And if we can order that ahead of time, again, that helps with not ordering enough. So we want to make sure that you have if there's certain quilters want the same backing as the line, and we can ensure that if we do the pre-order on that. And to reward you, we're going to give you 25% off that fabric.
All right, special rulers.
The special rulers, we can't put the rulers on sale. So that's why we're not including them here, because Creative Grid rulers are MSRP or whatever that is. They're price protected. We can't do a sale with them. But so look for, about 2-3 months before the quilt along starts, when we have everything all together, we'll have the rulers and the pattern ready for you to go.
Like if we want to get the border, the little borders that are in each round.
Yeah, so there's those little compensating strips in between the rows, and that is in the finishing kit. Yep.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Right. So we're taking care of the most important thing right now is to make sure that everybody can get their fat quarter towers ordered. Okay? So how exciting is that, everybody? Isn't that awesome? Yes. Okay. Anything? Woo! Yeah. Anything else, Val, do you have for us?
I don't think so.
Did they get a nice look at what you have already in progress?
They do. Good luck. I'll get out of the way. I think Kaylee was going to put my email on there. If anybody had any questions about anything, they're welcome to shoot me an email. Or they can ask you and then get back together and answer those questions.
Right. And so this is Val's pattern. This is not a Primitive Gatherings pattern. It will be her pattern. So she's the one that's going to benefit from this that way, and I benefit from my fabric being sold and the rulers if you get the rulers from us. And we will have them as a pack, all of them, or individually in case some of you might have 1 or 2 of them already. So we've already thought about that. We're not going to just make you buy the whole pack no matter what, even if we'll be able to have some of those individually as well. All right. So is that it for the garden gatherings? Any other questions did we have? No? So remember, please comment on the YouTube side and go to the blog and read what we have there for you. For the questions today to win the charm packs, and we already have those charm packs too, so we will be able to send those pre-cuts that we're giving away for the 12 days. We will be able to send those out in January, so you won't have to wait. You'll have something that nobody else has because I'm giving up some of my designer pre-cuts for you. So all right, if that's it, we only have the girls wanted me to share with you, we have a couple t-shirts here at Primitive Gatherings for sale to celebrate the holidays. We have these a nice number in stock if you want to come in and grab them, or if you want one, I can't guarantee you're going to get it before Christmas, so maybe for next year. But we can still order these if we oversell them, but you'll have to email us if you want one because they're not on the site yet. But local people, come and pick one up for the holidays. And if you can't and you really want one, email us at store@primitivegatherings.us and we will get one to you. All right? Okay, anything else? Did I get everything off the hit list today?
Tell them what the questions were.
What is the question, Heidi?
The questions are, how many quilt alongs have you done? And are you going to be joining us for the Meet Me in the Garden?
Okay, so my questions for the blog post are, how many quilt-alongs have you done already? Will you be joining us on this one? And if none of those pertain to you, what's your favorite flower? Because it is garden gatherings, and we're all, at least I am, obsessed about flowers and gardens and all that stuff. So I'm so excited for our garden here at Primitive Gatherings. Come and watch it grow if you can. Get on a plane if you're way far away and come see us. We have all the things here for you, so we can take very good care of you. All right. Anything else for today? Thank you so much, Val, for coming on and being there for them.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow for day 10 of our 12 days of Christmas. Take care. Bye now.